Hi, good morrow, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. My name is EmilyHanhan, and this is my dear friend Audra at home. Welcome to
Hi.
our Thursday Night Live. Welcome to Calling All Creators. If
Yeah.
you are new here, welcome in. Let us know if you feel like it. Let us know in the chat that you're new, or if you're watching on replay, leave us a comment. Um, and any of our regulars, any of our lurkers, welcome everyone. Calling All Creators is something that we just started last month, but I feel like it was kind of an instant passion situation. And this is a series that we're going to continue where we're doing live streams, live chats about things related to being a creator, whether it is, last time we talked about the downfalls and positives of Vlogmas. Tonight we're
Yep.
talking about editing, kind of like as much of it as we can get into in an hour-ish. We try to keep this around an hour so that it's something that people can come back to and watch. Video editing is a huge, gigantic topic, and
Yes.
neither one of us are. Anything we say here is not like the only thing you can do, the end all be
Facts.
all. This is just our perspective. I've been making
I'm not a
videos
pro.
since like 2019. And how long have you been doing like making videos?
Since 2016, and
Okay.
it may have gone back for, I think it was 2016, and I've been editing since 2016, to be honest. So like, I
Yeah.
kind of did the things in tandem because I thought you had to. I don't know.
No, that's what I mean. Like that's making videos and editing videos to me are one and the same. I am a person, I will say, I think that videos need to be edited personally. Like I think if you're putting stuff on YouTube, I don't find unedited content as compelling. Live streams are a different topic, a
Yeah.
different situation altogether.
Yeah.
But when it comes to generally a life to a channel, this is not yucking anyone's yum, but like I have realized that editing is a necessity, and it's become a creative space. So yeah, so we're gonna so Ali, hello Ali, thank you for a great question. So
We're gonna
we're
get in
gonna
there.
dive right into like the basics and then see how far we can get into in terms of other topics. This is a great place to start.
Mhm.
So we both use Wondershare Filmora,
Yeah.
and they, I believe they have a free version that has a watermark, but I believe I spent $60 for the software, and it was like
They do
lifetime.
have the watermark because I have an old ass video with it. I have an old video with that watermark. They do have a free version. But I recommend, here's my recommendation. If you're going to be a creator and you're going to be using this software, if you can crowdsource or whatever it is that you need to do to be able to like pay for it. It's also, I think, like $9.99 a month if you want to do it monthly. Do that, because not having the watermark, and also you have access to more stuff.
Yes. And so Wondershare does have like different tiers of like they have stuff that's subscription in terms of transitions and visuals and music, and I recently like spent the money for a year subscription to that, but I have been using it for at least a year without that. I tried a bunch of other software editing because I was working off of a Chromebook for a long time, and with
Yeah,
Chromebooks you can't download software.
correct.
So I used some. There was some like online based video editing thing, and like I did it. I did use iMovie for a while and was editing on my phone. That was where I started. I was filming and editing on
Mm-hmm.
my phone, and then I moved to filming on my phone, editing through the that app. And then I feel like when I got my camera, I then got Filmora. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that like a lot of phones and iPads are not really built to
Take on
do a
this
lot.
shit. This is intense.
iMovie would be good on, like if I had a MacBook, I would actually probably be okay with sticking with iMovie for a lot longer, but I had Chromebooks and PCs, and that's what I still have.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my setup. And my camera, I mean, I'm streaming on a webcam, but I generally use the Canon M50,
It's got a lot of letters.
M50.
I'm like,
it's a lot of letters and numbers and things. So that's what I use. How about yourself, Audra?
Yeah, so I think partially I have ADHD to thank for this, but when I decided to get into, YouTube, I knew I had to have editing software. Now, that's not to say I started out editing well, because I edited like hot trash when I first started, which I think that's the thing, is you have to expect that your first edits aren't going to be fantastic because of what you're doing at that point in time. You're really just learning.
Yeah.
But what I really like about Filmora is that it's pretty user-friendly, fairly intuitive, and they have tons and tons of how-to and help videos. And you also, like, there's a lot of people on YouTube who use Filmora as well. So if you have friends who create content, then you can ask each other. Like, there's things Emily knew how to do that I didn't know how to do, like showing me how to like basically take a screenshot from like
The
as an editing.
It's so
good.
good.
The snapshot. Yeah. And so ever since you showed me that, I'm like, oh, that's much easier. And so like that helps when I'm uploading everything or exporting. I can already be like building the thumbnail, and then that way I can just drop everything and be like, I'm finished.
So if you happen to use Filmora, what the snapshot is, there's a little camera symbol somewhere on the screen. It's usually, I think, on my the right-hand side below your little video preview.
Yes.
The thing that it does is it grabs the image at the quality you filmed at. It grabs a screenshot at that quality, because a lot of times I was screen grabbing or whatever, and the quality is great. and the thumbnails, it does make a difference, because even though you think people are only seeing them at a small scale, everyone's watching at such different formats that sometimes a crappy quality photo in a thumbnail, like I'll look back at it and be like, what? Why did you do that? So it's great because you can talk to other creators that you're friends, or through Twitter, through message boards, through whatever, and like get advice and input. And I have a PC. So Ali asked another question: what laptop PC equipment do you use? I wanted to spell the idea that one needs to have a Mac. You don't need a Mac. You don't need Final Cut Pro. Those are awesome. I do have a bias towards the operating system of Macs, but I have PCs because that's what I can afford. I did get a more of a almost gaming PC laptop. It's an Acer, and it has the NVIDIA graphics card, which is better. Basically, I think I went to Best Buy and I was like, look, I don't want to spend, I think I spent like $800, and this was about 2 years ago. A year and a half maybe. And I was like, look, I want something that is more high functioning than like a Chromebook, but I don't have a lot of money. I do edit videos, and they were like, look, this is a good option. It has a lot inside that a lot of the other laptops around the same price point don't, but it's a chunkier laptop. It looks like a gaming kind of like, it's not my favorite visual, but I was like, I don't care, because I've been generally happy with it since.
I have an HP laptop. I think I have an Envy. Also, I have one of these. This is your best friend. This is another one of your best friends when it comes to editing. This is an external drive.
Oh, yes.
And your external drive is going to save your life, because don't work with the stuff off of it. Like, it's a good place to store things, especially if you want to store. Ooh, I almost like sucked in some fuzz. Especially if you want to store your content. Like, I have everything that I've uploaded is stored on there. Like this year, and I think most of last year is stored on there, and there's still significant amount of room, but you do not have to have a Mac to edit.
Absolutely not.
I feel like, me personally, I'm a PC person. I know it's how horrible of me. I like a PC because they tend to be more compatible with like everything, where Mac is kind of hateful towards other things a lot, even though they're trying to sort of make it less like that because they wanted Macs to be available for like workspaces and whatnot, but still they're still not available for most workspaces because they're still like, you still can't download all my programs. So I find that for me, a PC is more friendly because whatever program I decide to use, I can put it on here and not have any issues, and it's got to work. Like I like
worked with Macs for a long time, and I feel like they've come a long way with their whole, we don't have a lot. Like I worked as early as like a year and a half, 2 years ago with Macs, and I was like, I don't have any complaints. But I also, again, I'm not in a place that I can afford that. And phones often don't have, phones are a great place to start. But I also would say, consider filming on your phone and getting it onto your laptop and editing there, because that was such a step up for me. It was such a nice change because for me, I have fat fingers. It's hard to get tighter edits. It was hard to like do as much, but if you're cool with doing it all there, I do think starting with your phone is phenomenal for starting out. So
yeah,
exactly.
And external, if you are going to be doing YouTube, whether you're trying to, get monetized or not, if you like, regardless, if you're going to do it, the external hard drive is good because you will eat up your computer. I did it before. The other laptop I had was a hand-me-down, and that's okay. Thanks, Mom.
Yes.
But the reality of the situation is you eat up so much space in it. If you're someone who wants to keep your raw footage, I mean, I don't keep my raw footage for the most part. But if you need a place to like dump your files, like let's say your SD card, you want to dump everything from your SD card onto your external drive and then pull those items when you want them. Like that's the good thing about it. I don't recommend working on things from your external drive though, because you can definitely crash it. It's not intended for that.
I've damaged a new big external hard drive by doing that.
Yeah.
It's a learning lesson.
But you can do it with an SD card. You just can't do it with external drives. Like you can do it for a short period of time before it's like, this isn't what I was made for.
I did it for like 2 weeks and it was like, and this was, I think, in the height of Vlogmas. So I was editing a lot. I was doing a lot. So I like put it through the paces and it was like, nope, we're out.
Well, I'll definitely say I noticed a difference between, because that's exactly what I was looking at. So Gregory said I use an external, I still have to get rid of stuff. You do not want to do that to your hard drive. Yes, because I think I've said this before, but just because you delete things, they're not gone. Deleting things, they're not, because you have to like, if you hit delete, then you have to remember to go to your recycle bin and hit delete. But there's still it's still condensed somewhere on your computer. It's still taking up space somewhere. And the main reason is like if you had to reset things or if you wanted to go back and get it, it keeps it, I think, for a specific period of time. They'll even say like, do you want to permanently delete this? And you're like, yes, they can still recover it. Anyways.
I don't know how to do any of that, but I believe you, whatever. I don't care. I don't really care. I'm just like, if it's gone, if I accidentally deleted it and it's gone. But I'm also literally the biggest klutz with technology. And so I've lost so much. Like I don't have a attachment towards, I mean, obviously if you lose files that you're still working on, I'm sad about it, but like losing photos or projects or things like that, I'm like, I've already done this about 1,000 times in my life minimum, so I gotta move over, like move on.
I drive me screaming and I'm like, that is a loud noise. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it makes me feel a little bit not okay. It's like,
yes, and I'm also I am a proponent of just like sometimes you gotta factory reset the whole thing. Like sometimes I just have to do that, and I'm just like, as long as I know how to get the software back or whatever it is, like sometimes that's like my spring cleaning.
Yeah, that is another reason to have your external drive for sure, because if anything like that happens and you've put all this stuff on your external drive and your SD cards, when you have to factory reset, it's just a matter of like downloading the software again and then, going ahead and editing. Speaking of editing.
We also use, like you use and you've introduced me to, and it's not totally editing, but Soundstripe, which is a paid service that you can get all kinds of music that is copyright free, and they will do also like they will protect you if you were to get copyright marked by the musician. I just downloaded it. I just signed up for it, so I haven't used it yet, but I also use the audio library on YouTube, or I will search copyright free music on, like, you can find stuff on Bandcamp and SoundCloud and YouTube. You just have to kind of be careful with that. But welcome, Carly. Glad to have you here.
Soundstripe I have been using I feel like I've been using it since 2018. And then I feel like fairly recently, they made it to where you can actually connect your channel to Soundstripe. So you have 2 layers of protection there. They also have, if you've ever looked at the very, very bottom of my description boxes, you will see that I have like codes, like it's like a bunch of letters. And those codes I copy whenever I download stuff. They even made it easier to where you don't have to like name the content. You used to have to name it, which was annoying because you might change the name of the thing. So you don't have to do that now. But the code is what automatically fixes any kind of copyright claim. And I've had that happen. I had it happen, I think, on a New Makeup Nonsense, I believe. And I was like stressing about it, and then it cleared. And I didn't have to do anything. Like, I didn't have to send anything over. It cleared, I think, within about 15 minutes of me getting the copyright claim. And then it cleared. So that's very, very helpful, because a lot of these folks who use copyright-free music may sometimes be using like the bass of somebody else's song, or like a few lines, like all of this kind of stuff. And people purposefully, I'm going to say purposefully, have that music as copyright-free, and then they copyright it when enough people use it so that they can, try to capitalize on it. By doing it this way, those people can't just come and like suck up and copyright claim and be like, that's my song. Now it's
and because Soundstripe is paying the artist. So like, that's the part of it, is like, I also understand the importance of like being able to pay an artist. So that's what I feel like is like, there are artists that are creating maybe for Soundstripe. And Ali asked, how do you access the audio library? It's just a link. Everyone can access it. You download, you can listen to songs, you can search by different things. Again, Soundstripe has like a bigger, it's just more it has more bells and whistles. And the search, more bells and whistles. That's what it is. And the search is a little bit more complex in a nice way of like being able to find different things. But it's a great place to start if you're just like, I just want some background music. Also, welcome Yolanda. And Angie, Angie asked if do you think I would get in trouble with my race videos because of the announcer who calls the races? I think it just depends on on that announcer, and maybe if you look them up on YouTube and see if they have other content out. Because if they do, they might, but it's tricky. I find that music, movies, TV shows, but that's what I reference. That's what gets like dinged for me. Yeah,
you get a lot of it depends on how the content's put out, right? So some people will, and I think here's the thing, especially with like memes and stuff, like where I use like, are you going to tell me that I'm wrong? So people who put up content like that, for the most part, don't try to copyright strike it, because it's going to ruin them, basically. Because the whole point is that people hear it and like think it's memeable and use it, right? And then it goes around everywhere. And so people would much rather people enjoy it, and then they learn to create other stuff specifically and like have it done, whatever. But you can make money various ways. But just be careful with the content that you grab. Sorry, I have to keep moving things around.
Oh, you're fine.
But the thing about Soundstripe, and I've had a link in there in my videos for a long time.
I don't know if your link works, by the way, because I tried it and it just tells me, it just was like, here's regular sound. Like it acts it's not actually giving you anything. It's just like kind of like just going to like This is basically
Yeah,
sound.
it's been there for like forever though, because I haven't changed anything since they've made significant changes, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, do this. So the
Should
thing
we get?
about it is,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna
No, no,
say,
go ahead.
unlike on the YouTube audio library, which I've tried to use, I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. It's okay. I don't like it. I because so here I can on Soundstripe I can characterize by mood. I can search by mood, characteristic, genre, energy, the instrument that I want to hear, what key I want it in. If there's a
Yeah.
particular artist on here that I enjoy, I can do it by that way. I can choose whether or not I want it to have vocals or if I want it to not have vocals. I can even search by length and be like, I want it to be, at least 5 minutes long. I can search by beats per minute. There's a lot of different ways I can search, and it's been really, really helpful because when as you're editing, sometimes you'll be like, ooh, I'd like a really kind of like chill down, and you have an idea in your mind right then and there. And I can typically find it within about 5 to 10 minutes by searching it that way on Soundstripe. And then I'm like, I'm set.
And comparatively, the audio library has mood, it has genre, it has length, but it doesn't have maybe beats per minute, or it might not have like instrumental. I can't really remember. So like the audio library isn't terrible, but Soundstripe just goes deeper, goes more in depth. And that's
Yeah.
actually a good point. It's kind of skipping ahead, but I just wanted to say
Yeah.
one of the really nice things about editing, sometimes I want a certain song, a certain feel, and you pick out, like sometimes I will pick out the music before I start editing. And like I think about Audra, when you have like the creepier background music, and like I feel like that can help you when you're playing around with transitions or any kind of add-ins. You're like, oh, I already know I picked a creepy mood, or I already know I picked a sunnier or brighter mood. So sometimes you're editing to the like mood you've already picked out.
Yes.
And then sometimes you edit and then you go dig into the music and you're like, oh, that's the one that already fits. Like sometimes I don't know ahead of time what mood I want or what specific sound I want, but I know I want something. And then I'll go start listening and then I'm like, oh, that's it. So that's like one of the nice parts with playing with music when you're editing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think too, especially like when I would like dance and stuff, I would have some of the songs like in mind, and I'd be like, oh, I can either do it to this one or this one, and I just kind of like dance. Listen, I'm not a great dancer. Let's leave that alone. But the point is that I kind of like rock and roll a little bit to like one of the songs that I already had in mind, as opposed to, I think that's one of the things that I don't like about the YouTube sound library. The reason I don't like it is because, first of all, I didn't know that it existed when I started. So I was using Soundstripe. So let me just be like, I started using Soundstripe, and when I was like, oh, I want music. And that's how I started. I think it was around 2018 where I was like, yeah, I want to put music in here. And because Wondershare Filmora comes with copyright-free music.
Yes, that was what I was also going to say. There is some, and it's gotten better over the last couple of months, but it's not a huge library. And I find that they lean a little too heavy into songs with words.
Yeah.
Also, but like I don't really I like instrumental or non-verbal, whatever. I like music that without words in it, usually, unless it's specifically like a little dance break, a little like I'm showing the products and new makeup nonsense. But like 99% of the time, I don't want singing, or I don't want words. I don't want lyrics. So yeah, and they do lean into electronica.
Yes, you can only have that is a thing with copyright music. And I might be able to bring this up for you, but like, so my makeup and
videos
music,
and clips in general, right?
Yeah.
Like if you grab I had a clip recently from Clue or from SNL or a song, like 7 seconds is usually the limit that I let myself put in there. And even that can get dinged.
Yes. And if you've ever, watch FilmTube. Watch MovieTubes, okay? Watch like Ryan Hollinger, like Horror Hollinger, like highly recommend you check them out. There's a few other creators that I enjoy that like Filmento. Watch some of theirs, and you don't have to like love whatever movie they're talking about. Here's what I like watching them, but one of the reasons I recommend watching them is because if you want to use like film clips, television clips, things like that, watch how they utilize them, because a lot of times they may play the same clip over and over and over again in different ways, but it's voicing over, so it's transformative. So just kind of watch stuff like that, because if you think you might talk over, then you might be okay. Now music, no, you will not win with music, period. You will not win. Like, and that's why it's careful. That's one of the reasons why a lot of the FilmTube folk often have these scenes and do voiceovers and don't let them play because of the music in the background. So if you saw my makeup and music, there is a point where I'm playing like the Leo DiCaprio section, and I would have been able to just play the whole thing, but because the song was playing for longer than the 7 to 10 seconds, I knew I would get in trouble. So I had to like make it sound wonky. So it starts out like this, and then it ends like this.
Oh, so you added like an audio effect to the
like
sound.
Pitched it up. I just went and changed the pitch up.
Okay.
So yeah, and so I had to cut it in half.
Yeah, cut it in half. And that's one of the things is also like, again, I'm referencing Filmora because that's what I use, but they have like, you can adjust the audio, but they also recently added audio effects. So you can add
audio normalization.
Yes, but the audio effects are in a different section. So you can like add like an echo, or you can make it sound like you're in a smaller room or a bigger room. Like you can also play with speeding up the clips, but it's true. It's that pitch change. It's making it a little weird. And music is definitely the thing. I'll say that's a great tip that we had, again, kind of in the like the latter half, but just to build on that, if you are, whether you're new at this or kind of old hat, start watching. Welcome, Jacqueline or Jacqueline. Attempt to dip your toe into other YouTube, other creators on YouTube, other genres, like you were saying, movie, film critiques. Even if you like food, watch people that do food videos, or because you can see what other people are doing for techniques. Like there's a transition that I use that I picked up, but it was from a beauty person, but it was somebody I wasn't typically watching. And it was just a moment of like, oh, okay, I didn't pick up much from watching this person. I wasn't a return viewer really, but that little moment I was like, because this person would use it more than one time. And I was like, wait, what was that? What was that? And then that's what made me figure out, oh, I think that it's a layering of two things that I have in Filmora. But if I wasn't watching the kind of content that I normally watch, I might not have seen it. So like, try, like you said, watch film people, especially if you're looking at bringing in more clips or playing with that, or just watch other people just to see, because I also think if you're a beauty creator or in the beauty creator sphere at all, you can kind of get stuck in that space, like mentally. And so it's nice to just kind of play around and see what other people are doing. And I'm going to say, I actually don't find the copyright thing super intimidating.
Yeah, because they let you know before you prop the bitch up, first of all. First and foremost, before you even like let the video go live, especially if you're monetized, they're going to tell you it can't be monetized, copyright claims. YouTube has gotten significantly better about doing this because like 2 years ago, no, you would be sitting there having your video up and having a good time, and nobody cared until like your video was like making waves, right? So when you are uploading, if you are monetized and you choose monetization and you say on, right? it's going to do checks. It's going to do the checks either way, but it's doing them especially if you put monetization on. So when you say monetization on, you're monetized, and then you are uploading your video, it does checks for, and it's checking for copyrighted issues. So it is specifically checking for things like, if you have a song in there, how long is the song? Like, it's checking for that stuff.
So what I would,
Go ahead.
so it will happen when you're not monetized.
Yes.
Make all of your videos unlisted. When you're uploading, upload it as unlisted. Let it fully process, upload as unlisted, and
change that in your settings that you want it to be that way. But
also when you're going through the process, like rather than going to public right away, like at the last screen of the upload, rather than pressing public or schedule, just let it go to unlisted. And then once it's fully processed, you can take a look. Also, hello, welcome.
Hi, Liz. It's like all the old friends are back.
I know. Glad to see you. The other thing I was going to say, the other thing it sounds scary, but I keep calling them dings because there's a difference in YouTube between like a strike and a claim. That's what it is.
Yes.
The strike is the scary thing. The strike is where if you get too many strikes, your channel the YouTube will just take it down. But a claim is different. And so a claim is just like, hey, either we're not going to let you upload it, or if you are monetized, we might let you upload it, but you're not going to make any money off of it.
Yes, the person whose copyright it is, they will earn all the money off of your video. That's how it works. Like, if you want to use Britney Spears' song, Free Britney, then you can, but they're going to say, well, Britney gets all the money. Like, you're not getting the money. And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, normally I'd be okay with that, but like today I'm a broke bitch. So. But yeah, so what do you mean about my opening pictures? Like, oh, so you can get those. So here's a fun thing. Fun facts. A lot of these are, so the reason you don't get in any trouble for a lot of these stock photos, because that's what they are. Like if you go to Ulta, for instance, one of my favorite things to do, I'll like see if I can pull this up for you. But let's say I'm going to talk about, let me try to think of like something. I don't care. I'll just like grab something that's right up here on the front page. Oh, good. Not that. I'm like, oh, kid.
You're like, I'll just grab anything. Oh,
I'm
also,
like,
another thing that's kind of related to editing that I use is, and we both use, is Canva. And sometimes I will go onto Canva and look for photos because I pay for Canva Pro. And so you can get a lot more. Like I've found great stock photos without watermarks or anything like that on Canva.
If I was going to talk about the NARS Basic Instincts cheek quad, I'm on Ulta, right? And then I just screenshot this, and I, for me, like I'll go ahead
like save image and it'll save it as like a high quality. Yeah.
And just do this. And like, I don't really mind because I'm probably going to do whatever it is that I do with it later. Who knows? I do all kinds of things. Yes, I have us here because I like to make sure that, listen, I'm a friend. So then I go into my gallery and I will have that in my screenshots. I will upload this to my Google Drive, and I'll be able to pull that. So
it's just the thing in Filmora. So you don't have to have a video in every part or in whatever editing software you're using. You can do like photos that fill up the whole screen. That is a logo, probably an animated logo, right?
Yes, and you can make those in Canva as well.
Yes.
And you can also, here, give me a second.
You can also, like, some people buy that. Like they buy an animated opening screen from an artist, from a graphic designer. So that's why sometimes you see them and you're like, wow, that's really gorgeous. Like
I wasn't expecting it to work. Why do I always think it's not? I always feel like it's going to sit down there and not immediately do that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And I keep doing that, and I keep thinking it's going to sit down, and it refuses to sit down with that. Why did it used to do that?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I interrupted you. Continue. I was just trying to.
Oh no, what did you want to show? I was just saying that like a lot of people buy those. They get them made by graphic designers and animators or illustrators, and they buy them.
So I think it depends on what you want to do, right? So hold on one second. I need to see if I can like move this piece over here. No. I have a second screen. I'm not used to using it yet, y'all. So please don't come for me in the comments telling me I'm a loser.
If anybody does that, I'm banning you.
Yeah,
No shame.
All right. So I have a couple of things. I'm going to see if I can pull this over here. It doesn't matter where it sits right now. I'm just pulling it over here. And then this is my notification. All right. So did I get it over there? Probably not. Okay.
There you go.
So this notification, when let's move my mouse over here. Whenever I add, like, take this, undo that. That's my favorite thing, is the undo button. Whenever I take this in and like, where's my squunchy button? I can't see my squunchy button.
It's right there. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to delete it from there, and I'm going to just pop it like up here. All right. Then I'm going to unsquunchy. I'm like,
I still hate editing. I hate it.
I have such a good flow. It's unreal.
Like I've said, a video taking me less than 8 hours to edit is a feat. And yes, that's still true 2 years into it.
I have such a good time with it. So right here, I have the edit. Like I have this is my ring the bell button, right? And the way that it's currently set up, I don't want it to, like, let's say that this is the beginning of my video. I don't want it to just be like on top of my face. I built it in Canva, right? But like, I don't want it to do that. And I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to put it right here. And I want it to show up for people that like ring the bell. However, I didn't use any animation for this one. So like now I can add animation here.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's true. Because it's a still image or like yeah.
Yeah. So I can go over here, and the one I like to use the most is vortex out. So now when it's playing, let's go like right here, you'll see it pop up and it'll have animation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to see it like, whoa.
Like when you see, I think you've linked the bonnets in a bunch of videos, right?
Oh, this video is probably, I don't know if it's ever going to see the light of day.
But you've worn the bonnets in other videos, yeah?
Yes, they're from Almost Beauties.
Okay.
Almost Beauties.
But like if you've ever seen my new makeup and I learned this from you, Audra. So new makeup nonsense bingo, when I have the bingo card and then I'm putting a spot on a new square, I used to just like have the old card, new card, so it kind of like the way it's edited, it looked like it was popping up because I would have them back to back. But I still do that. But I have my bingo symbol, my smiling poop emoji, which I still adore. And I use the animation to make it like enter the screen to the spot it needs to be in. I was going to say, I would share my screen. I tried it right before we started, and the Wondershare screen is just black. So Audra is going to be the screen
sharing
talking about
person. New makeup nonsense, right? And yes. Okay, so I put the spider in the middle of my face so that hopefully y'all can see it.
Also, we're showing you like slightly more advanced things. I was going to say, like Liz is saying, I don't have a working computer, so it takes me days to edit. If you're starting out, this is part of the thing. Keep it simple until you understand yourself, until you understand. Yes. Like this is a big part of it. Before we get into like I called it the gilding the lily, but like before you get into that, like adding clips, oh no, you can keep showing, but like get to know like yourself and and like just do the basics. And then as you're more comfortable, you'll be like, okay, I'm ready to add music. Okay, I'm ready to make a little notification button. I'm ready to maybe make an intro. I still haven't ever made an intro, and I'm 2 years into this, and maybe I will one day. I don't know. I'll start adding clips. I'll start I started adding clips in the last 6 months because of you, because I was watching what you were doing, and I was like, wait, and I had seen other people doing it. I'd seen other people adding memes. It was like memes in all the videos, and I got it. I thought it was funny, but I felt like if I started doing it, that I was just going to be copying that. Like
Yeah.
when Julia Mazzucato was uploading, like she was like the queen of like the memes, like the in the
Yeah.
videos or in the beauty space, at least other people doing it. But just in the last 6 months, I've been like, but I could just include things that make me happy. Like I love old 90s and early 2000s SNL. I love Clue. I love Bob's Burgers, Arrested Development, some older Simpsons. Like, and that has been the thing where, and that's part of the like the clip part is like, just like download things that make you happy. And then you can
Yes, that
find
are part of
midst
your
to put them.
personality.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
listen, if I take y'all all the way back to like baby Audra,
Also, this is
I
a
went
part of it.
from editing one way. So, and I'm not even gonna like, here's the thing. First of all, don't make fun, like, don't hurt yourself. Don't feel bad about yourself. Don't treat yourself poorly. You can only do what you can do, right? And so when I first started, I'm gonna actually, let me see if I can
Also, this
do
is
this
part of
right.
it is getting used to yourself, looking at yourself, listening to yourself. So like we were actually getting into like the basics of, oh, also I just wanted to say Julia Mazzucato was a creator that was super, super young. So I think it
Mm-hmm.
felt cringy because when you're not super, super young, like that's what it was for me, where I was like, I'm not in my 20s. I'm not like I'm not there. That's not my aesthetic. That's not like I laugh at them, but that's not me. And so that's what I'm saying when I'm like, it didn't feel like the right fit, but I liked the way you were able to bring your personality
Yeah.
to in a moment where you may not have done it while you were filming. That's the cool thing with clips is that
Yes.
like if you are like there are moments when I'm filming or when I'm editing something and I'm like, I'm so bored by myself in this moment. There's something I
But
can
that's
put
enough.
here that like just so I don't have to listen to my voice right now. Like
Yeah, and like when you were talking about, I'm like becoming the share queen, the share screen
no, you're
queen
perfect. You're perfect.
extraordinaire. I just wanted to be able to show you because you're wondering like what it looks like if if you didn't own Filmora. And
Oh,
this
okay.
is like, it keeps this over here.
Oh,
So
wow.
like that, yeah, and it's big. It's over your whole thing. Oh, that's embarrassing. Let's stop now. Because I
Okay,
hate that
this
music
is
so bad.
why I even muted my own Wonder Share before when I was testing sharing it because I was like, I don't want to hear my voice in this live stream even though I'm talking.
This was just
Also,
that music.
see,
I hate
Deja,
it.
look. So if y'all don't follow Deja Vu, you should.
Yes, please.
Deja said, I slowly include them because that's how I communicate online. Exactly. Almost every meme I use in my videos was already in my library.
Yeah.
That's the fun thing is that like start a folder and just throw things in there
Yes, your
and
Google Drive. It's like, I know that that's not for everybody, but it's $20
yeah,
for a year of, I think it's 100 gigabytes
fill that bitch
of
up.
space. It's phenomenal because the thing is, some of your clips you're not going to keep forever. Some of them, they were just for that moment. Like the majority of my music clips for the music, makeup, and memories, the majority of those, I don't save them. I'm not going to, if I need them again, first of all, they're easy to find. So that's a big part of it is like, that's all going to be easy to find. If I want to talk about any of those songs again, or like reference them, it's very easy to find again on YouTube, right? But when you find like weird random clips, like I found a random clip the other day. I showed it to Emily. I'm not going to say exactly what it was. I don't know how I happened upon it, and I'm not going to say it because I want y'all to be happy and with
When it
happy joy and
shows up,
surprise when it shows up.
it's going to make your day,
It's going to
okay?
be a moment, right? And the thing is, I came across that in trying to search for something else, right? And so I found, and I was like, I have to have this. So I saved it. I was like, I'm saving this. So like you keep, and the thing is, I don't just have a library of clips. Like when I tell you I am not a very well organized person. I'm not, but my drive It's like they have folders: Archer clips, Bob's Burgers clips, Death Clock clips, Jersey Shore, miscellaneous clips, music videos, sound effects, Twitch clips. Like I have this shit in order, and it's specifically because I know like miscellaneous it doesn't belong anywhere. It's just like my random ass memes. And so I keep all of that shit together. And then anytime I want to use it, I can, and this is the best part. I pull it from my Google Drive, right? Oop. Thank you. I'm like, thank you. Anytime I want to do anything there, I just pull it from my Google Drive and I download it, right? Then when I'm done and it's exported in Filmora, I delete it off of my computer. Yeah. So once again, I'm not eating up all the space, especially because I game too. I have like an Elgato sound card, like all of this shit. I really like, I don't have the most, super intense laptop known to man that's going to like fucking crush puppies. But like, I don't know why I said that, but like.
But here's what I'm going to say. This is a good point. I've freelanced for years now, and Google Drive is like the lifeblood of like so many projects, companies. If you don't use Google Drive, I love it. I highly recommend it. I use it for YouTube stuff. I use it for all kinds of stuff. It's a great, like you said, have a big storage space, put it there. It's easy to download, delete it when you're done. Like it's how like you were saying, it's how I take stuff from my iPhone to my PC. And I just wanted to say that, like, I love Deja's comment about seeing yourself in your memes or your clips.
Yes.
This is something I started realizing. So, like
I make an explosion.
Like there are moments when, so for me, New Makeup Nonsense Bingo has been the space for me to really play around with clips and different transitions and just being as weird as I want to be. And not being so worried because I'm tipsy or drunk when I'm filming it. By the time I'm editing it, I'm just like, I just want this to be decent. Can it just be decent? So there are times where like I say something. There was a video where I just was like, why about this whatever product? And I was like, why is that stuck in my head? And so the next day when I was editing, I Googled like why, either on YouTube or I may have Googled why meme. And then I found the meme of this pastor that just keeps saying why. And I was like, this made me laugh so much for so long. Or like I said, like, not gonna buy it. And then I was like, what does that remind me of? Dana Carvey from the 90s, like George Bush imitation. I need to include a clip. And so like I did. Yeah. And so there are moments where I can like pull out my love of Clue or like my humor or things where I'm like, these are like, almost call them like brain candy. They're little like things in my brain where I'm like, these were formative for me in some way. Yes. And being able to show them, that's been the thing where I'm like, oh, this is really fun.
Yeah, because because I've talked about this offline, right? First I wanted to go back to Cecily, who was saying, I can't see myself. I just cannot seem to. Okay. So Cecily was saying, I can't see myself ever being over that stage, Peppy. I just cannot seem to talk on camera without wanting to crawl into a hole. First and foremost, find the spot that makes you comfortable. If you are in my channel members or my Patreon, y'all know I've been, I probably have 3 commentary videos filmed at this point. They're all edited. They're all uploaded. They're all like, thank you.
This is also, go ahead. And then I'll talk.
So what I'll say is, I had so much difficulty trying to film commentary because I felt like I had to be doing something because, I'm ASD. It's difficult for me to like ASD and ADHD. It's difficult for me to sit still. I feel like I have to be doing something unless I'm in my comfy, which is here. This is my comfy. So y'all getting videos of me and my, this is my couch. Like, I don't care if people have shit to say about like, why do you have blankets on your couch? Because I have an 86-pound dog who sheds a lot of hair. That's why he's going to lay down next to me.
If anyone has shit to say to anyone at any time, they can literally go fuck off and die.
That is me being as intense as I'm going to be. But like, that's the thing, is find a comfy spot.
Yes.
Also, this is okay. So how I edit and how Audra edit are different, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not that I've actually seen you edit, but the thing, so when I started out with YouTube, I was editing to like the nth bit. Like,
Hey,
if there
Josh.
was a moment I took a breath, if there was a like just clip, just fucking. It was nutty. It was nutty. It was bad. Bad meaning like way too much time, too obsessive, like actually obsessive. So
Yeah.
here's how I edit. I edit at 2 times speed because I know I talk slower. I know I take deep breaths and like
Oh,
big
yeah.
breaths. I know I have gaps. So I will set my video to 2 times speed, listen to it. First of all, being at a different pitch, at a different whatever, also helps me not focus so much on how I sound because you don't
Yeah.
sound the same at 2 times speed. You're at like a higher pitch, at least in Filmora or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know if that's like physics or if that's just Filmora. So I will edit and like I will watch at 2 times speed. I watch from start to finish. I have to listen to what I'm saying. And whenever I'm ready to make a clip, I clip. And then whatever bit I was just working on, I set it back to 1 time speed.
Yeah.
So like I do that so that as I'm going, I can still add photos or add clips. So like when I'm doing new makeup nonsense, when I'm doing any video, I edit front to back. I don't do it in like layers. Like I'm not going to like edit everything and then go back and add photos and go back and add clips and go back and go. No, I start and I
So you would
start
take
and I just
this
put
and
it
you
in.
go, where is it?
There's a little
Speed
speed
and
symbol
duration.
too on the, yeah.
So you edit at 2 times speed?
Yep.
And so
And you press OK.
Yep. So
And
you
then
can see here where it changes,
yes.
right? So if Emily were editing this and they got to like, let's say, they're like, oh, let me just stop here. Let me put in my intro stuff. So you would put in your intro and all of that stuff right here.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, like if you were going to put subscribe or like or notifications or your socials, you would like stop here and put it in. Okay.
And if you clip right there, Audra, if you clip it, like if you just press the little red button that clips it,
yeah,
you can actually you see the red bar that's at the top of your video? Like the first part of the video, the very first part.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So if
okay.
you click the red bar.
So now I just put speed and duration.
You can actually just click the red bar itself. And that will open up the speed. That will have a little drop down that says like slow, fast, normal. So
hold on. So
like click on the red bar itself. Yes. And then you just set it back to normal. And then
you just taught me some new-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't edit that way, but like it's cool though.
That's and so like I don't like editing. I don't like going back and doing it in layers because I have found that sometimes adding things in layers causes other sections to like jump or move.
It does. Like it can fuck up some other things. It just depends on what you're using. But here's the thing. If you, for instance, if you add music, let's do audio and we're going to like add this song. So if I add this song right here, if you're like editing through here with the music on, because I also put my music on as I go. If I can, I will put my music on as I go because it's so much fucking easier. I hate getting to the end of the video and being like, and here's why, because if you're putting it on a loop, if y'all can see this like blank space right here,
cut that loop, cut that.
You have to cut this out. So if I have a 30 or 40 minute video and this song is what, like 3.5 minutes long or something, I do not want to go through and dropping the volume, and then have to like cut this little bit out, and like that's a lot. If I'm doing it as I go, then and this is just a me thing. Like everybody doesn't have to edit like me. Once you figure out what your style is, perfection.
Audra, you know what I do? So here's what I do is I put the music in wherever. I set whatever volume I want it at. I clip the part out. Then you can copy that part, that music now. So then what I do, before you paste, so lock any of your other layers. And then I just paste that song like 15 times or whatever,
Yeah.
however long I need to. It fills in, and then I lock that song layer.
Oh, you know what? I rarely do that.
So then I unlock the other layers, and I can just clip and cut and add and do whatever. As long as
Yeah.
that song layer is locked, then you're good to go. And I agree. And
No, you're
also
right.
sometimes I will set a song at a certain audio level, but then as I'm editing, I'm like, oh wait, that can't stay that way the whole video. Or like I need to drop that down, or I can drop it up. Like I can bump it up. So
Yeah.
I also like having the music in the background for me.
Yeah, because like, so when I'm trying to make a decision on the volume, I typically have about, we were talking earlier about the audio normalization. I can't make words. Auto normalization. So I hit like this, if I hit this little button here, it's going to normalize all the audio. So it's like all at one length, one level, and it just kind of pitches, like fixes all the highs and lows and just kind of gives it one level. The fantastic thing about this is if you put clips in, you can also, I kind of fucked that up last time, but you can also do that with your clips. And so it'll have the same even sound that you have. So you won't have these like really loud clips that bust out. You'll just be able to like normalize it to like what everything else is, which cool beans. But when you like put clips in and all that good business and you're like, okay, I'm going to put a clip here or whatever. Like when you start editing, literally like undo a bunch. Just don't worry about it. I'm like, don't worry about it. So like my editing style is like, I know that all this is just bullshit and I'm about to say good morrow and I can see my face about to say it. So I'm like, cool, let's cut that. But usually I already actually have my intro dropped in and my outro. I don't have that for now, but like normally I have both of those things dropped in. And then I just delete that. There's absolutely nothing there, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like, I'll kind of like look at this first clip and I'll slide down a little bit because sometimes I just like to check and see what this space is. And I'm like, do I need this? It's me trying to say pianist, apparently. So,
and see, like, I love seeing how you edit, and like we've talked about it before. And I've been a torment to you. I'm gonna admit that I've been a torment to you because I'm like, I don't understand how you're able to do that and do it so fast. And I've just been like a baby about it. And
yeah.
Like,
when I tell Emily that like
I gotta like chill out about that.
No, you're fine because here's the thing: everybody works at a different speed.
But also, I think you film for your editing.
Yeah,
which is also a part of it.
So that's the thing. If you like, I would need an enormous amount of time. But because I started YouTube kind of filming and editing in tandem, not great editing, but just I started doing that in tandem. I film conscious of the fact that I'm going to edit it. So there are things that I do when I am filming to give myself cues of like if there's something where I'm like, I want to put this clip in, right? Especially if it's like one of my death clock ones. And so I'll be like, yeah, like da-da-da-da, la, 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 la. And I'll make that sound because that's the sound from the clip. And like, I will like say whatever I'm going to say, take a breath, make that sound, and then continue on. So when I'm editing, I will hear that. I will go grab that clip, drop it in. I cut that, and then it just like it cuts from me saying da 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 the clip, and then the next thing that I'm going to say. So I'm able to cut, and then it moves along seamlessly. Yeah. But that took quite a while of me figuring out how I behave on camera. I move around a lot. I move my hands around a lot. I gotta say, finding out ASD was just like a magic for my life because I stopped feeling as stressed about like how much I move around. And like, I don't know why I'm starting to cry, but I started to feel like less stressed about how much I move around and all of my singing stems, like all of these things. I finally just stopped being like, I can't like get rid of it. I'm sorry. Like this is who I am as a person. I can't just like make it disappear because that makes everyone feel better. but I can find ways to like make it work for me. And so I give myself visual cues, and cues as I am editing, and then I know which clips to drop places, whether I wanted to or not. Like I'm pretty quick about doing that, and it's like I filmed, edited, and uploaded today. I started filming around 8:30, and I was done with everything by about 11:30.
Yeah, like so. That blows my mind. Like I can't. I don't know if I've ever edited a video in under 3 hours. Like just honestly, like maybe, but really like maybe once. So like,
but there's significantly a difference between just doing commentary and also, because I'll say this too, if you're sitting and just talking about things, those are significantly easier to edit because you can very quickly see where you were saying nothing, all this type of stuff. When you're putting on makeup, you have to pay more attention to what's happening there. If if you're doing anything other than just kind of sitting and talking at the camera, talking to the camera and doing like those edits are really fast for me. I can typically edit a lot of those really fast.
And even for me, I'm like, I bumble over words all the time. And there's a difference for me in, okay, I could edit myself less and putting up an hour-long video. Like I feel like for me, I have my brain, the whole point of me saying like, I love hearing about how you edit and how you film to edit, kind of like it works together for your brain, is that I'm not in that place with my brain. And I don't know if I ever will be. And that's something I'm okay with, because I also like I personally, and I say this like out of all respect and love for you, is like, I think you were at just a next level in terms of, but part of that I think is the ASD at play. This is like me projecting a lot of shit, but this is also, conversations we had where like, I feel like this is a thing that you are like made to do, or you have made it work for you.
Yeah.
And I think also for me, editing at 2 times speed is also how I've gotten over, like, I talk with my hands all the time. And a lot of times when I was cutting out so many of the gaps of just like me thinking or taking a moment or stumbling over a word, it's awkward because it's like my hands are here and then they're here. Or here, and then I cut out some weird space where I was doing this, but making a weird noise, or saying, or not making, to me, saying something that didn't add anything to the video. But then I'm like, okay, or I could just keep that in and only really cut those out. Like, I can't really just look at the gaps for me, but I really like hearing about how you edit, because
I'm sorry, Deja
said. Yes,
that's what got me. That's not what you can do for your ASD, but what your ASD can do for your JSK, probably. Yeah, because it's like I'm a puzzle person, and I think I like puzzles, and I like to be able to solve things in a way that makes it quick, right? So when I'm doing this, I can see like I'm gonna sit here and stumble over like. So if I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna look at it, so I don't have anything else to say there, right? I realize like I just pump and drop down, and right about there is where I would cut this, and then I'm gonna come here. I know I didn't say anything because my head's still down. And then I can see where I'm about to start talking here. So I'm going to dump all of that. And right here, if I want to do something weird, so I can do this, because I'm like doing research at that point, and I know that that's hot garbage, and there's nothing happening right here. Yeah. So I'm going to cut that. And then right here, I have this little funny, funky clip, right? So I'm not really going to look at it. I'm just going to piecemeal it. And then I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to just kind of quickly pop this over this way. Sometimes it doesn't show the right part, but it's fine. Then I'm going to take this middle one.
Oh, was that a crop? Is that what you just
Yeah,
did?
I'm cropping it. So I'm going to crop that. Wait, I want to crop this one that way. So let me go here and reset it. And let me crop this one. Yeah, so that one's right. Then we're going to take this one and I'm going to kind of fuss with it with transform. And I'm going to flip it because, like, why not? Because I'm a weird kid, right? Sometimes it takes forever for me to get it to do exactly how I want it to do. We're going to pretend like it did it because I think that it did. But
it also might
sometimes
not
it
be
doesn't
showing
do it.
you because of where your cursor is. You might actually be on this clip right here.
Yeah, you're right. So, and then there's this one. I'm going to just like take this and like slide it over here. So we'll see how this plays out when I hit play. Because I've done this multiple times where I'm just like, I'm not going to actually look. I'm just going to see if it works out. So that was like something really quick.
How did you like chop yourself though? The way you like, the way the last one with the side eye, and you like this is where I'm like waving hands like a bird, like flapping a bird over here, like.
Now you're looking at it like, how did you do that? Witchcraft.
Yes,
because
and that's what I have to admit, like witchcraft.
Because I know enough about me and like my personality and how I act, right? So I was kind of able to figure out that if I got stuck on that, I know how my brain works. So I know if my brain was like pianist, I know that I probably said pianist. I know I probably said it between 5 and 7 times. So knowing that, I'm like, I'm going to cut that and then I'm going to cut that little bit into 3s and just fuck around with how it moves around. And then boom, like that's how it's going to be.
And like, could have been something you just trashed, but you were like, no, but this is also a moment of like me being me that I want to like amplify. And that's the fun thing with editing is when you're like, I think that's the like learning to accept yourself part of it. Like, I feel like my journey with editing was like I knew I'm a weird person. I'm coming on the internet. I'm going to be a weird person on the internet. But I still struggled with editing out some of the weirdness or like just editing to like a very tight ship in a way. And then in the course of getting to know other creators, both YouTube creators, people that do Instagram or TikTok or whatever, or podcasts or any of the things, Twitch, and seeing like them kind of embrace themselves and all of that. And then I realized like, okay, there are things that are weird about me and I can accentuate them and they make me happy. And that's sometimes it's the way you edit and do the like, you know, cropping weird, flipping around, zooming out, zooming in, whatever like things, or it's the way you add clips or you mess with the audio or you just like, even if you don't add things to it, even if you just play around with how you edit, like how you manipulate the things in that moment, that can be the way to open your door of like, oh, I can highlight me being a silly goose and it's funnier. Or it's like, it makes me happier. And then like, that's, I think what we're saying with like, when you start out, even if you're not new to it, if you're still getting comfortable with editing, just like, it is a project on accepting yourself, actually. Somebody said that earlier in the chat, and I'm like,
I think it was Beauty Jack.
Is it. That is it. Beauty Jack. Yeah, that is really it.
It's accepting yourself. And I think the other thing too is when you start, don't feel like you have to add all of these layers immediately, right? If you are new to editing, you just recently started editing, like if y'all even knew the joy I got from figuring out how to put a picture in, I was like, oh, bitch, you can't stop me now. I'm the best ever. I'm the best there was. I'm the best there ever was. Like I was losing my mind over it. And it's like, and you should feel like that. You should, like every time you're able, because like, the layers upon layers, like if I show you, I'm not going to show you like this. I'm just going to go to just like looking at a piece of new nonsense.
I was going to say like I have so many creators that are like people that will say like, oh, I want to make videos. I really want to make a new makeup nonsense bingo video. And I'm like, I want everyone to make them, but like they are the way the what I do with them. It's a lot. It's a lot of like parts and things that you're working with.
Yes.
And it is like a test in editing. And oh no, actually not again. This, if you are as a creator in general, I think having a regular thing you do is a great, not a schedule, not a whatever, but if you have a kind of video that you do every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, find something that you can do regularly that makes you comfortable to play, because that's what it is. It's like every 2 weeks ish, I have to do this video. I'm going to do the video because it gets views and it's fun. And I adore Teresa and Audra and anyone else that does it. But because I'm doing it every 2 weeks, I also like want it to feel different or fresh or fun, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of layers of editing, for me at least, when I do these videos.
Yeah, because like, so right here, is it showing?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so that little piece that y'all just saw, that's like 4 different, it's 5 different layers in Filmora.
Yeah.
It is like, that is 5 different layers in Filmora. So you have
I think mine
the
would be
original
5.
video,
Yeah.
I have the thunder sound, I have the card, I have the little like whoop, I think it might be 4. So it's like the original video, the thunderclap sound, it's 4 layers.
Yep.
And then depending on some of them, it might be 5 if I've added like something additional. So by
Sometimes
layers,
have
like
background music. So then there's like that
layer.
That's
the 5th layer. You're right.
Yeah.
That is the 5th layer. Is the
background music, video, bingo card, a bingo icon. And then I do the video game jump noise for my sound effect. Like, so like and then like when you have the product on the screen, that's a layer. The transitions that I've been doing, which I'll just share, I just have it as I took a still shot from Wondershare.
Oh, good.
Wondershare was not was not cooperating with
Deja,
StreamYard.
I was about to act up because Deja was like talking about because when I found out how to get the videos I found on Twitter into my videos, I knew I was going to be a menace.
Okay, so like this is the screenshot that I took is like my face is just just doing one of those screenshot faces where you're just like, this is unflattering, and that's okay, because what is flattering? Whatever, it's overrated. Okay. So this is like a clip that I had that I may or may not use, and the screenshot is not weird, but this area right here. So the area where you have the little break and then the thing above it, that is a transition that I do. So when you do a clip and you want to add a transition in through Filmora, that's what the box is right here. And you can adjust the length of the transition if you want like a 1 second, 30 seconds, whatever. But then what I do above it is I go into elements, and elements is like how you can add video glitch effects. It's how you can add like there's so many effects.
Elements is how I have that movie border screen in my bloopers.
Yes, or like if you see, sometimes you use it, and I've used it, that overlay that's like warm colors, but it looks like a little like spin wheel thing. Like it's like wedges of warm color. So what that is that I use the chromatic. It's an element that's called chromatic something, and I use it with the transition. So then in that moment, you will get a little bit of it'll transition, but with color. And maybe I can show you with
with video.
Yes, exactly. I'm like,
oh my goodness, we're getting a little preview here.
And it's just fun because it's a way for me to like, oh, I don't want this to actually play. Hold on.
Oh, we don't get to see it. I am upset.
Let me find a moment.
Yeah, Peppy, my face does tons of, so like, oh, here's like the thing that when Emily was talking about, like, you see how their face is like that? And there's a little button that's more over to the right that actually has like a camera, and that is like, because you see where it says like 1/2.
It's
There
right
it is.
here.
That's the button. Oh my God, babes, you just got on top of it. I feel amazing. I feel so smart. We're like a good team. We're like when the twin powers activate.
Weird faces. This is what I taught from you. I'm like, use your weird faces for your thumbnails. It's fun.
Yes. Because I was
And
like,
so
who gives a shit?
That's what yeah, so that snapshot, that's how you can get that.
That's why I like Snapshot. Because here's the thing. Prior to Snapshot, what we were all doing was dumb shit like this. We were setting up cameras and taking photos going, like morons. The ridiculousness that you had. And then when you try to smile, be like, I'm smiling, but like, am I confused? Like,
it was so obnoxious. And you're just
because
like,
it's a weird game, because you can't look happy with the product, because then nobody's gonna look. But you can't look like you completely hate it, because then nobody's gonna look. So you have to look slightly like, I'm confused. So like the thing is, you can't make that face. But you know when you did make the face live while you were filming?
Yeah. So this is new makeup nonsense, and I think I used it right. Like I used it when I was transitioning for my bingo card. So I think it's a good space to see it. Let's see.
I really like that lighting.
Thank you. I was worried about this lighting.
Bitch.
Yes, so you can see it. And so that right there where you saw the color and the lines, that was that kind of the two effects together. It was a transition. It was the horizontal line transition and the chromatic. And a lot of times I will let it go a little longer, but that video I forgot and I was just doing the standard length. But yes, editing also gets you used to all of your imperfections, and maybe not used to, but like
you get comfortable. Like I am comfortable with my one big eye. Like I have one big eye. Don't try to figure it out right now. That's rude. But like I have one big eye.
Also, this is a good thumbnail. I didn't realize how much I make like throat noises, mouth noises, like to start speaking.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm editing, and I'm like, why is there like and it's not a pop. It's not a purposeful pop. It's just.
I take an enormous deep breath.
Same.
I go like this. I go. And that doesn't mean that because I don't breathe when I talk. First of all, if you did not notice that, I do not breathe. I don't breathe when I'm talking.
Finish a sentence and then like blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like,
yeah, like
so hard.
I will say 3,752 words, and then after I'm finished, I'll be and start again. Like I just don't breathe when I talk. So like knowing that, and I know that I talk fast. I know that for a lot of people that's very irritating. That's another thing. Like that is another reason why I had to learn how to film properly so that I could edit me. Because once I started realizing, I'm like, Audra, you talk really fast, and a lot of people can hear you and understand you, but editing you is a bitch. Like you need to take a breath. When you fuck up, don't just be like and start again. Like now, when I fuck up, I go, okay, I did it wrong, and then I start over.
I've been trying to at least take a moment, take a step, because a lot of my editing was like also very tight because I would just mess up but keep talking. Yes, that's the energy.
That is just be like, it exists and I tried it.
Also, something you will find when you're adding in transitions is that there's something about the technology of transitions, because it's been in different video editors that it does this. It tends to pick up your audio that you've clipped out before, like you're at the end of a clip and the beginning of another clip. Something about the transition, it like will pick up the end of the audio that you've already clipped off and the beginning of the audio that you also clipped off. So sometimes you're going to have transitions that are going to feel clunky, but you also taught me that's also a great spot to throw something in. If you have like a weird Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking clips, but also ads.
Yes, clips and ads. So here's the thing. So if you are, let me see if I can get myself together on whichever screen that I want to be on. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. If you are in like right here, right? I'm about 5 minutes or so into this video. This is going to be a good spot for, like, let's say I'm going to put a clip here, and instead, like, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I take a deep breath and I pretend I said something witty prior, right? So what I like to do is go ahead and just like dump that out. And then let me drop a clip somewhere so that this will make sense when I do it. Let me
I call
download a
this
clip
like
for
next
you.
level editing on Audra's part. It's great advice, and it's something that I have played with a bit, but I don't always have the patience for. But I do appreciate it because I'm like, you're right, you're right. I think it's
Yeah.
also I don't trust YouTube to just throw ads in wherever they want. So I'm like, why am I going to put in this effort when YouTube is just going to do what they want? But you know, still listen to
Oh
this
my
advice
goodness.
because it's good advice.
You're like, I'm gonna just do this thing. Like,
I'm
so I
like, I'm just gonna do
downloaded
it. Yeah.
a clip, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drop it. Obviously, I'm not gonna use this whole fucking thing, right? This is a bunch of shit. So I'm gonna be like, I want to use just like, let's say I want to use this, and I'm gonna cut this out. Cause like there's a good break here, and now I'm gonna have it do this. And then I'm gonna cut that out. There's a motherfucking mosquito in my house, you bitch. And then like now we're gonna have this part that goes from here. Pretend it was something witty though. Pretend it was something witty and this makes sense.
Also, I love everyone that's nerding out with us because all day we were literally like, we're gonna nerd out so much.
I know. I'm like, we're gonna nerd. But like that's the thing is like you can just drop that clip in there if you are like if you have a breath or you're cutting or there's an awkward cut between and you said something and you have something that can kind of or for the most part fits your personality and fits the mood, you can throw that clip in there and then you don't have to try to put a transition in that's going to have a space like you going anyway and then the new part of coming on. You can just drop your clip there and the clip is going to be the thing that like saves you.
I actually feel like I want because like first of all I love every time you say when Deja was talking about earlier how like they had a video coming out soon that they had to cut a lot on because they rambled. I now realize I need to look up just like I don't even know what I was talking about. I need a clip that says that because like I think I need a moment where when I know I'm rambling and I'm like, I don't think any of this even mattered. I kind of just want to, I want a couple of clips to like download that can just be like, what was this person even saying? No one knows. And just like throw it in there and then move on because ADHD brain is hard. Like it's hard when you just
and I have to work hard to like not use this clip every single time because I had to try not to use it because I just used it in the last New Makeup Nonsense. But it was when Pat's Utopia came out, and my favorite clip was like from 10 Things I Hate About You. It was just like, I know that you can be like overwhelmed, and I know that you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever just be like whelmed? I think you can in Europe. That is my favorite clip. Like that's one of my favorite things of all time. And once I figured out, so if you're wondering how it is, ads. So Fefi.
Yes.
If you want to know how, like I personally, how I do ads, I am going to show you. So how I do ads is, let's say I'm going to just kind of pop this and like I'm going to do some random shit so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And let's do, I always have favorites. Also, if you use Filmora, whatever format you use, make sure you have favorites. Whatever your favorite ones are, it'll make it much easier.
Also, the shared files folder in Filmora, where you import files, there's a shared folder. So that's where I put my like the emoji I use for all the bingos, my little outro thingy, like anything that like I don't put everything there, and I don't put a lot there. I'm very particular, but things that I know I'm going to go back to over and over again, I do.
So we're going to pretend that this is like this is water. We're going to pretend that this is the little bits that I have here is significantly longer than it is, right? So let's say that this is the actual minute 5 and I have this clip. Instead of it coming back to me, I will put, and I'll look right here. And when you are monetized, you can actually go in there and put in 5:45, you put in 05, 45, 22, and then put an ad there, right? So it's a natural break. So then let's say we're, 15 minutes into it, and I see here that I have, right, like it's not going to give you like a real clip because I just randomly clipped some shit here. But this is what I see here as a transition. Yeah. So I'm going to put, like this says 060714. I'm going to drop an ad in there, right? Yeah. And then let's say that we're now at minute, what was that, minute 15? So now we're at minute 22. So here I can already even see that the screen is blank, and this says here 6:44:12. I'm going to put my ad in there. Now the reason I do this, I kind of learned this from Jamie French. When she does her movies and makeup and movies, whatever it is, I can't remember the name of things. Whenever she does that, she is actually making a conscious effort to be like, we're going to go to a commercial break, right? Mm. And the thing that's cool about that is if you don't have YouTube Premium, right? The ads are about to come on that you can skip or not skip, and it also it's a natural break in the video instead of me being like, so what I'm saying is, ad. You know what I mean? Like,
so that was the thing. So Hannah Louise Poston also used to do that. They used to say, and we're going to go to an ad break, and they would have a little screen that would pop up, like a transition, like a title screen. But there were so many times where YouTube was just putting in ads wherever. So it didn't matter. Now I've been watching Premium for so long. So when more of this was like something I would see in the comments where people would say, oh, like it's not. And so like that, I think that's why she stopped using them. I'm not sure actually, but like, that's my only thing is that sometimes, or not sometimes, YouTube, like you have a level of control, but you never quite know if that is being used for everyone. But your technique I like better because like, I think I used it for one of my Get Ready With Me's where I knew if I was speeding up and like just applying makeup, that was a good spot to drop an ad. It wasn't quite a transition. It wasn't quite a clip, but it was just like a moment of like breath basically where I was like, okay, let's put it here. Or so like that's like another level of if you already have, especially if you keep your Filmora open and you're uploading and it's there, or if you take notes as you're editing. And like I said, for me, sometimes my brain works that way. And then a lot of times I'm just like, you're lucky you're getting a video right now, bitches.
So Jacqueline, it just depends on the creator. Every creator is different. Some just drop it by time. And that's fine. It's however you want to do it. The only reason I wanted to do it that way is because I personally, when I'm watching something with ads, would like to know that there's going to be an ad break. So even if I watch IMDb or if I watch TV or whatever, they like normally tell me like an ad's coming up in 37 seconds. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I can like be ready for that. Right. And I also realized that I don't like it when my content has like this weird jumbledy sensation. I think a lot of it, like I can't control everything that YouTube is going to do, right? I'm never going to be able to control if they add additional ads. That's such a weird thing to say, but I can't control that. But initially, especially because I'm a smaller creator, I can do this. And for the most part, I feel like they let me get away with it. Now, if I have a video blow up, like let's say, I drop this video tomorrow and it just explodes and suddenly I have like 4K views on this video and I've never had 4K views on a video. Well, like not in that time frame, right? If that were to happen, then YouTube can put additional ads in there and I have nothing. And the thing is, a lot of times too, though, is like a lot of those additional ads are all just placed in the spaces that you already put ads. Does that make sense? Like I put an ad here and it was one. They did have one ad at minute 5. But as the video blows up, they're like, oh, well, we're going to drop one 30-second ad and we're going to connect them. So there's going to be a 30-second ad and then a 7-second ad. And they're both going to be in this one spot. So that's one of the things that we have to like keep in mind And when people get upset at creators being like, you use so many ads, keep in mind that a lot of people are like, I put 4 ads in here. I have no control over what YouTube does after that. Like I don't, if I put, and I don't know how there's.
Even if you look at that same screen, like where you drop ads, it'll look the same. Because like I've had times where people will be like, oh, why is there, let's say the number is, why are there 7 ads in this video? And I look back and I'm like, no, I only placed 4 or whatever, 5. And I'm like, so even when I go into where you're dropping the ads, I personally don't think it always updates that there are more ads in there. Also, correct. YouTube in the pretty recent past changed it to basically you cannot control whether or not your content gets ads. Even though your channel might not be monetized, viewers will still get ads.
And the fun thing is they were doing that before. They just didn't tell you that they were.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because like that was one of the big things about getting monetized is people knew back then, back before all the get-ins and all that, people knew that their shit was that ads were showing up on their stuff, and you knew it because you could go watch someone else's video, and they had 350 subscribers, so they didn't meet the requirements. And if you did not have YouTube Premium, you were still getting an ad. And you're like, hold up now, wait a minute. So they had to like, all they did was change language and really just say it out loud legally, because they had to be like, we're allowed to put ads on.
And you can't opt out. I think they used to say, they used to have a feature that you could actually completely opt out. So if you wanted to build a whole channel where you did not make any money off of it and nobody made money off of it, you can't do that on YouTube. You would probably just want to use Vimeo or some other video hosting service. Yeah, exactly. Like you're not making money off of that. So I love Premium. I've had it for years.
Is my life. Okay. This isn't even me as a creator telling you. No,
same.
I'm going to tell you as someone who watches an enormous amount of YouTube. Like let me see what my library, because I'm going to tell you that my library currently probably has over, it has over 5,000 videos. I will say that it has over 5,000.
What, you mean like a watch later or?
No, my library of like my history.
I never looked at that number.
Oh my God, it is really intense. It is very intense. And if I just go to library, it's like you have 117 subscriptions. You have 7,408 likes. Okay, so I have liked 7,408 videos. I have liked them. That's the stuff that I remembered to hit the button on. All right, so like I don't want to know how much I forgot. But the thing is, if you do, like, I have Premium because of the amount of YouTube I watch, and I watch a lot of like Filmento is one of my new favorites right now. Has honestly, I don't care if you don't like, listen, if you like movies at all, Filmento's voice is very soothing. If you like want to kind of like chill out, listen to something interesting and fall asleep, his voice is just yes. So I love watching Filmento, and it's a lot of film content and movie content, which I adore. And I would not be able to enjoy that content the way that I want to if I had an ad popping up every 5 to 7 minutes. I would just be like, I can't.
I do watch true crime, not really like beauty true crime, but I do consume true crime in some capacity. Like I said, ASMR sometimes like narrator or like creepy stuff, beauty, random food videos, or like I would not. And like I fell into using Premium as a not as a creator, as a viewer, just before.
Yeah, as a viewer is where I got Premium.
And like there were times where like I was broke, and I remember there was a couple of months where I think I might have only lasted a month where I was like, I really cannot spend the money, and I stopped doing Premium, and I was like, oh, I hate this. No, I gotta go. I gotta spend the money. I gotta figure out a place to get $15 a month.
Listen, it's like watching Netflix, y'all. I will say this. It's like when you watch Netflix and you just get so used to just like binging a show. and there ain't no commercial. And then you go over to someone's house and they have cable and you're watching the same show on reruns, but there's like all these commercials and you're like, what the fuck is this, bitch?
I will also say, so YouTube Premium also comes with YouTube Music. So I don't pay for any other music service because I can stream whatever, I can download for when it's offline. Also, YouTube Premium is how on some phones, that's how you can get it to play in the background. You can get your regular YouTube app to play in the background of your phone.
Yes.
So like for me, the monthly price between the music and the video, like and YouTube, both using on my phone, on my computer, now that I have TVs, watching on my TV, like I cannot go back to it. And I know that's a very privileged place to say that, but like
yeah. No, it is. I know. I get that it's privilege. Yeah. I understand that. I get it. I make questionable decisions in my life. At one point, I was like, I will eat ramen, and not good ramen. Listen, not good
instant
ramen. It was
ramen, like, Marichan, or all of those.
Yeah. And it's just like a salt packet. I would eat that, and I was like, I will eat this because I can't go back. I could, because here's the thing, my brain, like the moment that those commercials come, I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, it's so, and the thing is, it's not like anything else where, because like more than half the time when those commercials come on, you're not in a position to change it. That's my problem with them. Is it's not like, you know, like I'll be walking Bo, for instance. I'm like, let's go for a walk, Bo. Let's have a good time. And we're walking around. And like, I'm picking up his droppings. And so like, I'm picking that up and like the commercial's coming on, it's loud, it's irritating. And I'm not in a position while crouched, holding on to him with one hand and holding on to his unfriendlies with another with this bag, trying to gather everything. Like I can't get rid of it. And it's very jarring, especially at like 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. in the fucking dark. Like, no.
And like, and every time we like talk about premium, I'm like, obviously, if you don't want to buy it, don't. But like, if you don't have to, if you've ever thought about it, I think it's worth giving it a try. That's my feeling. And like, it's also made me, it was like the only thing I was paying for a long time. Like I for a long time, I didn't have Netflix or Hulu or like any of those other streaming services because I was watching enough YouTube that I was like, I don't really miss not having those. That's changed a bit, but like I still watch a lot of YouTube and it's worth it for me. And I feel less. So this is now me as a creator speaking. I feel less angst or aggression towards a creator because of an ad, because the ad is not the creator's fault. Because that's the other thing, is that creators you can't really dictate what gets advertised on your channel. So if I'm watching somebody and I get an ad for like something that's the complete antithesis of what I'm watching a video on, because it's related, because like I know viewers that have gotten like weight loss or diet culture based ads on my videos when I'm talking about fat liberation, but they're connected in YouTube's head. I don't want to be angry at a creator or feel resentment because of ads that I was getting on their video. So for me, it was like, okay, it also made me be able to be more supportive in a way.
Yeah, because like like when you're editing,
has a lot of flaws. There's a lot of things I don't like about it,
and a lot of things as a creator that I think that they need to step the fuck up about. But
because if you just like honestly, if you when you are editing and you're kind of popping those things in, I'm adding them in for me to be mindful of people who do have to watch ads, right? For whatever reason, they've chosen not to have premium. That's their business. I'm not going to fault you for it. I'm not going to be an asshole, but like, because that's rude. And anyways, so the point is, I know that people don't have premium for whatever reasons they don't. And I'm trying to make it so that when you're listening to it, you can hear a natural break and then the commercial starts. I don't want you to like have me mid-sentence. Now there are, because like I fucking forgot and closed Fillmore out before I should have. And I was like, I'm not about to watch this now. It's too late. Now it's too late. It's over. You're going to get this. But as much as I can, I try to remember to do that. So yeah, that's
This was a nice. We went a little longer than we normally do.
Yeah.
But I feel
We should do a part 2 of editing.
yeah. Like now that y'all have seen this much, and if you're watching on replay, hello, thank you for watching. We love having you
I know,
here.
this is a lot. I'm sorry.
You can leave comments in this video that we can come back to for questions. Leave your questions. You can also like find us on Patreon or Twitter or Instagram and leave them there. But leaving them in the comments here, not in the chat, but in the comments would be the best. And or if anything, and you can come back and leave questions later if things pop up. It's a process, but it's fun. It's a fun for me. I still hate editing, but I have enjoyed being able to infuse my creativity in with it more than I had in the last year. I think I've been able to like get more into it than I had since. So
yeah, I mean, You Make Up Nonsense is a beast, and that's like my least favorite thing to edit because it's so big. But
it's like my least and my most favorite. Like I hate it and I love it. It's both things. It's a weird relationship.
Like I don't like how long it takes, but I like how creative I am with it. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'll show you like, I guess maybe next time we can show you like creating an intro using Canva for editing and creating intros and outros and how you can make them like, mine is an actual thing. Like all of the music, like all of that is all already created. And so we'll get there.
Yeah, I just don't have a creative, like, I don't know what I would want my intro to look like. That's my issue. It's like, there are just some things that I don't do because I'm like, if I don't have a good idea for it, I'm not going to force myself to do it. But like,
I had someone make me a really badass intro, but I won't use it because I want, like, I know that they just gave it to me, but I feel weird just like using something like that they put time and effort into and they just like gave it to me.
The whole point.
Okay, well, I'll think about it.
I'm saying this for anyone watching. If somebody gifts you something and you like it and they say you can use it, great, use it. If they don't give you that permission, ask or pay for it or whatever. But I'm saying if somebody gifts you something like an intro or a graphic or whatever, and they've communicated that they're good with you using it, share the wealth, use it. Enjoy.
All right. I think I know when I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I think I know. Okay.
Anyway, y'all have been amazing tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and
Drink all my water and my wine.
Yes, and for giving us all such good questions. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. We'll be on Audra's channel, and then we'll be back. We're gonna do these Calling All Creators at least once a month, if not more often, because we're really enjoying it. Thank you.
I know, it's so fun.
I know. I've been loving it. I'm like, I will talk about creator stuff all the time if I'm being honest.
It's so fun. I actually enjoy it.
And on that note, make sure to take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday because you are worth it. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye, friends.